he said it because of his wet blanket energy.
Unhinged. That's actually unhinged.
Hello and welcome to She's All Batch. This is our segment, Sound Off in the comments below. That's where you guys submit the topics that we talk about. Hello, Jackie.
Hi, Stephanie. And we talk about them.
We got a lot of submissions about Grant and Juliana's press tour that they've been going on since the finale. Have you seen any clips or any interviews with Grant?
No, I've seen a few. I think I watched Entertainment Tonight. I watched part 1 of Bachelor Happy Hour. I was really bored at work yesterday. I really went on like a little deep dive. I've seen a couple things. I don't think I fully saw the People one, but yeah, I know what's been said. I get the gist.
Yeah, you're up on the hot gossip and the cool jams. I want to play, I have a couple of clips here. And I will say, I listened to part 1 of Bachelor Happy Hour, and it was honestly, I wanted to text you about it, but that's funny that you watched it because, I mean, guys,
it sucks.
I don't want to. I'm not going to throw hate to another podcast, but like I don't count it as a legitimate one because it's ABC. So it's not Serena and Joe not being good at their job. It's ABC not knowing what the people want, but like literally asking questions to this couple specifically you have a lot of things you can ask them. But Joe's like, so how does it feel to be like an engaged couple? How did you feel the moment you got engaged? Are you happy that you're engaged?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think this man is going to say, Joe? So I'm listening and I'm like, there's literally not one question asked that I actually want to know the answer to. And then if we like treaded somewhat in the waters of a question that I am interested in, they give such a media trained answer that it's pointless to even ask.
Yeah. Like I said, I was really bored yesterday. Yeah. Colossal waste of time. But I guess what's your point in asking if I've seen some of the press stuff?
Well, because I want to play a couple of clips and react to it because I think what's rubbing me the wrong way is the lack of accountability. Juliana didn't watch the finale and that's her choice, but I feel like she does deserve to know what was said and what actually went down. And there's a little bit of revisionist history going on here. Grant is very much talking like what Litia claimed to have been said wasn't really what was said.
Juliana, it had to be hard to watch last night.
I didn't watch last night. We talked about it. Right. I think it was the best decision for the both of us. From what I've heard, he handled himself very well, and yeah.
Can I ask, what was your reaction to Litia saying that Grant told her and her mom that she was the one as early as week 2?
She has every right to take whatever Grant says and process it in her own way. Her perception is her reality. Yeah. She has every right to feel validated in whatever she wants to. Did
you feel like you got the closure you wanted, Grant? Is there anything else you wish you could have said to Litia last night?
No, honestly, no. I think that everything that I said was needed to be said. There's not many words that you could say. Yeah. Just kind of have to let her feel how she felt.
Totally.
Say what she had to say, and you just gotta accept it because, you know, I know my reality and I know what happened, and that's okay. I'm fine with it.
That doesn't infuriate you?
No.
Oh my God.
I'm cool as a cucumber. Well, because I guess what I was going to say before you played the clip was, I get Juliana didn't watch the finale, but why are you assuming that means she doesn't know what was said and her and Grant didn't have difficult conversations? Also, too, like, we weren't there. No one was there. It really is like a he said, she said when it comes to Litia's point of view and Grant's point of view.
But a lot we did see air on TV. He was saying these things to her. The whole I want to leave the show with Litia, he said that was on TV. We didn't know he said it to the mom too, but the other part was on TV. There's a lot of stuff. Like, yes, it wasn't on camera that she said, we're going to get engaged tomorrow. And he said, I know, I'm so excited. But like, lucky for you, Grant, because now he can say that Litia's that's her reality and her perception is on what he said. And it's just, I don't know. Can't you just say, I had really strong feelings for Litia. She's an amazing woman. And, you know, I regret how far I had to take it. But fortunately, it did lead me to my fiance. And I'm so happy now. And I really want to focus on this. Like, you can own it without like,
is that not like kind of exactly what he said? It's like it's like the same fluff sandwich with different words.
But one is at least acknowledging that Litia isn't a crazy person. Like, them saying that's how she interpreted things. That, you know what it's giving when someone says, I'm sorry that you're upset, instead of I'm sorry for what I did. What I did was wrong. when you say I'm sorry
Yeah.
that you're upset, you're putting the blame on the person for being upset and saying, I'm sorry that you're upset. But like Grant, you're not, as much as you said, I'm a man and I'm going to take ownership, you have not taken any ownership besides saying that one sentence. Let me play the other clip.
Okay.
This is with Sarah Heron. And also shout out to this, the Entertainment Tonight reporter. Like, these are the questions we want to ask. The fact that Juliana's like, I didn't watch the finale. And he's like, great. So how did you feel that Grant told Litia's mom that she's the one? Like, he was not letting up. And then Sarah Heron at Us Weekly did an amazing job, like asking the questions that we would ask and we want to know,
Yeah.
but not getting the answers. But listen to the answers.
Okay.
Juliana, for you, obviously you were friendly, it seemed, with Litia during the process. She had very nice things to say about you, but she did, make a sort of comment that you might have a lot of questions or that she wouldn't necessarily want her love story to play out this way. Did you have any reaction to those remarks?
I think the only reaction I have is that, we are two different individuals and we have to go through this process very uniquely and very true to who we are. And I wish her well.
Grant, she obviously had a lot of things to say to you as well, and you apologized. But she kind of touched on certain things like the comment that you said, I know with it, you guys were going to get engaged, or claiming repeatedly that she was your number one. Were there any comments that you didn't necessarily align with or wanted to clear up that maybe stuck out to you?
Yeah, there's a lot that I didn't align with, but I let her speak her truth and her piece, and I'm not gonna sit up there and argue with her on stage about what she thought I said, but I think that having, a little more clarity, I think that when you are the Bachelor, you do see your final two contestants as somebody that could be your wife. So I think that maybe that's where some confusion came into play. And then, there's room for interpretation when things are said, quote unquote, off camera. So, at that point in time, I can't really say much. I'm not going to argue. I just have to accept whatever the conditions are and apologize and let her feel how she feels, because she's in a tough situation and she's hurt.
I am open to the idea that Litia read more into the situation than maybe was happening.
Listening to him talk and just dismiss so much. Like, yeah, I don't align with a lot of what she said. It's open for interpretation and there's confusion. Is this not the same thing as the whole, you were thinking about Rose while dancing with Carolina, and weird that people keep misinterpreting him. And we saw on TV him not own up to Rose on our television screens, and he acted like he had no clue what she was talking about. And we saw all those parts. So I feel like this is a little bit of a pattern that you say things, and then when people call you out for saying them, you're like, well, that's how you interpret it. I'm going to live my life that way. Like, anything I say, if you say that I said it, I'm going to say, well, that's your truth. That's how you interpreted it. That's your perception of your reality.
That this is really similar to the Rose Carolina thing. He did say things in a gray area in that Rose. I didn't like the way he responded, because you're correct. He was acting like, Rose, you're like crazy for saying that. That's a lie. Yeah. I never said that. When like what he said was in this gray area where I could see how Rose interpreted it in that way.
It's weird that it's happening again, though. Like, it's another thing he said that he's saying, like, that's your interpretation of what I said. Like, how are you so confusing when you speak? If she is if like what Litia called you out for after the final rose, if she was exaggerating or making things up, like, how was your face not like, that's Litia, I don't know if that's really how it was said, or like you wouldn't challenge her at all? I don't think he challenged her at all. I think he just sat there and let her, like, she handed it to him.
Well, right, because I think he probably did say in week 2, stop the show, it's you. I'm sure he, like...
You don't think that the night before he proposed to Juliana, he said he led Litia to believe it was her?
I think he probably did lead her to... I don't know exactly what was said, but yeah, he probably did lead her to believe it was her.
You just don't care.
No, I'm pretty over Litia at this point. I'm like... I really don't. I just think that's what this show is. I think this happens all the time. I do think Grant could have been better, especially that last night, if he was that uncertain to make that clear. But we know he was conflicted up until the last 5 minutes. So I think he maybe genuinely really thought when he's talking to Litia, like, it was her. I think it was very compartmentalizing the relationships.
But if you're going to say, I'm going to own it, then just own it. This whole, well, that's how she interpreted things. How did you react to then all of the press that you heard them do yesterday when you were bored listening to it?
I mean,
like, what was your takeaway?
that it's a lot of peanut butter and fluff sandwich. But I like Grant and Juliana together. I've always, like, from the beginning of this, felt that they made the most sense and they're the most compatible. And I think Litia just represented an idealized version of like what Grant thought he should maybe go for, but that's not what he really wants. I don't think that's really who he is. And it just was so giving to me Peter and Maddie Prue vibes. Yeah. At the end when Barb's like, this is a joke. Like, you guys think you're in love and can really be together, but like, you're going to have to fail to succeed. And that's really by the end of it where I was at with Grant and Litia, which is why I think maybe I'm just so indifferent at this point. Cause I'm like, correct. He made the right decision. Juliana is the right person for him. I know Latia's hurt and I empathize for that, but like, everyone gets hurt on this show. That's nothing new.
I just am not about the dismissive language. And I think it's really easy for Grant to be dismissive of what Litia is saying, that considering Juliana didn't watch. I think Juliana, if she watched, she probably wouldn't want to be with him. And I don't know, it feels a little like, doesn't Juliana deserve to know the full story before getting married? It doesn't really seem like marriage is even like on the table at this point. They in the press that they've been doing, they're like, we want to get to know each other. And it's like, that's fine. Like, I do know that you are essentially strangers. It's just,
he wanted a long-term girlfriend, you know?
That's just not how the season started. It was very much focused on like wife and kids. For someone who always brings up revisionist history with Ari and Lauren, it is interesting that you don't really see the revisionist history here.
No, I see it. I mean, I said this last time we talked about it too. The Ari and Lauren thing is so different to me because he proposed to Becca. He picked Becca and then changed his mind. Versus like Grant had two really strong connections. I genuinely believe that he thought it could be either of them. And then he sat down and was like, okay, but who makes the most sense in my life? And he picked Juliana. Yeah. And all those feelings for Litia are correct and true. And like, I don't think he's saying he didn't have feelings for Litia.
I kind of feel like we're doing like make believe here, and it's fine. And we can all support it and be cordial. I also think like you can think how Grant treated Litia was wrong without hating on Juliana. I'm seeing so many comments of people being like, everyone's dragging Juliana. Like, I'm not seeing anything that no one has a problem with Juliana. You can think that she shouldn't be with Grant, but I don't think that, how is that a negative? I just think she deserves better than a guy that's leading a girl on until the last possible second. That's all. I don't think there's not even any hate towards Grant. I just don't think that this is your person. That's just my take. But who am I I'm just the girl in the tie-dyed shirt. What do I know?
The girl in the tie-dyed shirt. I mean, we'll see. I'm really curious to see what happens with Grant and Juliana. I hope they prove us wrong and withstand the test of time. I don't know.
Sure. I don't have high hopes. I was duped by the most lovey-dovey couples on this show, though. Like Brandon and Serene, you would never think it for a second that they weren't going to. At the time when they got engaged, I was like,
did we not say at the time that this is like a little red flaggy how love bomby he was to her? I feel like we said that. We're like, this was weird for them to go 0 to 100. The signs were there on that one. I mean, roll back the tape. I don't
when the
remember
news
what I
happened,
said.
though, that they broke up, I was shocked. And I'm like, love isn't real. Like, I can't trust anything on this show. And you expect me to trust Grant and Juliana? Like, I'm sorry. I just can't.
I don't know. Something about it feels real to me. I don't know. Okay. I know I'm being inconsistent. I know there have been other couples that I'm like, this is a joke. No. For some reason, I see it. I don't know. Guys, sound off. Let me know what you think. I feel like people feel very strongly one way or the other on this.
I know, and there's no in between. And just like, guys, to remind you, these are just opinions. We can have opinions and we can all get along. And why I referenced myself as the girl in the tie-dyed shirt is because I feel like we've reached a new audience on YouTube and people don't know us and they're referring to us by our outfits. So in the recap, we were Lady in the denim jumpsuit, Lady, which was offensive, and girl in the green jacket or green...
I got girl, not lady.
Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, no, you didn't get lady. I was like, excuse me, I am a teenager. What are you talking about?
Right. Like,
I've never been called a lady.
I'm just a 31-year-old, 16-year-old, you know?
I'm just a baby.
I'm just a baby.
Right.
Anyway, can we then also discuss Grant's single that came out after the finale?
Wait, I haven't listened to it yet, though. Can you play a little snip?
Am I the DJ?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So, well, it's not there.
What do you mean?
Someone told me it got removed. So on his Spotify, it's Party Girl, and then the second song he released was called like High School Crush.
It's not there anymore?
It's not there.
Oh no.
What does this mean?
ABC was like, you're making it way too obvious that you want a music career. Like, take this down.
Well, obviously he wants a music career. And like he posted something and was like TikTok with his mom or something. And it was like, Mom, everyone hates my singing. And the mom's like, it's okay, son. I still love you. And they hug. And it's like, Grant, no one hates your singing. You're talented. You're good at making music. That has nothing. And like, no one's hating on Juliana. They could still think the way Grant handled the situation with Litia is not great. But like, that doesn't mean we don't like Juliana. This has nothing to do with the other. But it is weird that his High School Crush song is now gone.
Yeah, I think he was maybe told to take it down.
I feel like Bachelor Data posted it. So maybe she has it.
Shit, I forgot. I know I'm spending the money. The bus is 11 o'clock.
Yo, I'm sorry. You're good. I think you're good. You're talented for sure. It's just adapting to these new times of that, like The Bachelor can be a rapper now and he can strategically release his singles before the season starts and immediately after. Old us would have thought that was weird, but I guess we're supposed to think that this is not weird anymore. It's crazy times that we live in.
I guess, but like, I get the shift in like public perception of people like not giving him like wrong reasons police. But I mean, we've said this a million times though, like two things can be true. He can want his long-term girlfriend and want a music career.
I hear you. It's the straddling of the Bachelor premiere and finale that is weird.
It's strategic. I'm like, you know,
He's
if
a
you were the
businessman
Bachelor and wanted to make the most impact with your single, when would you release it? Like, he's not going to release it a year from now.
True. Speaking of Grant posting things, though, I made that reel/TikTok about the sister. It's just showing how the sister during the finale was like kind of not really happy. It didn't seem like she was happy. She looked hot as hell. Like she looked so good. I didn't even notice it until like after the finale aired that everyone was talking about the sister. So I made this video and it did go pretty viral. And then Grant yesterday posted a photo on his Instagram story of his mom, sister, and dad from that night. And the sister's like beaming. And I can't help but think it's in response to it. Because it's like, look, my sister was happy. You just didn't catch it on camera. And like, sure, she probably is happy. It's just calling out, why did ABC keep showing it? Like they didn't have to keep showing her like side-eyeing you the whole time, you know?
Maybe she was just uncomfortable and she didn't want to be in the spotlight.
Maybe, I mean, if I knew that the camera was going to come on me at any point in the 3-hour finale and I didn't know when, the whole time I would be like,
well, I know that's what's exhausting about the like. Remember when Joey was on Dancing with the Stars and they'd be like, "Oh my God, Kelsey frowned," and it's like the girl can't smile the whole episode, like waiting for the camera to pan to her. She can just be like in her own thoughts, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you pan to her when she is like just deadpan. That means that there's something wrong between Kelsey and Joey.
I hear
and
that.
Kind of same thing with the sister, like. Just because she wasn't smiling when the camera comes to her doesn't mean she's like so anti-Grant and Juliana.
It could just be how in that moment she was looking. And honestly, I wish I could look like that, not smiling. Like she looked so good.
Yeah, I mean, like as a girl who has also been diagnosed with resting bitch face.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's hard out here for us. Give us a break, you know? You've never been told you have resting bitch face? I get told it a lot, which I'm like, what does that say about me? I don't know. A lot of people want me to talk about the Severance finale. I mean, I'll talk a little bit about the Severance finale, guys. I mean, I thought it was one of the best episodes of television I have ever watched in my life. I watched with a group of my friends. We were like on the edge of our seat, like screaming, cheering, crying, all of the emotions. It was so good. And I'm really happy that I really feel like it delivered. There was a lot of hype for this episode. It was super long. We got a lot. Well, so Innie Mark and Outie Mark had a conversation with each other. So basically the whole episode kind of surrounded around having to go rescue Mark's wife, Gemma, who's been kept in the basement of Lumen and they're doing testing on her and she's severed multiple times and that's a whole thing. But I guess Severance only works on the floor that Innie Mark works on. So for him to get to the testing area, he will become Outie Mark. So like Innie Mark and Outie Mark had to coordinate with each other. So they went to this place where it's like a birthing center, but you can sever yourself to give birth. So like Any Mark can come out when they go into the birthing center. So Any Mark would be there. He'd record a little video of himself being like, hey, Audi, so that like blah, 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 blah. And then Audi Mark would, so then he would stop the tape recorder, walk outside so that he becomes Audi Mark. And then Audi Mark would like record a video. And they really shot this really well, the scene going back and forth and back and forth. And they have a whole conversation. But it ends with Any Mark being like, why would I do this for you? I have to go save your wife so that you can just leave Lumen and then I low-key die because you're never going to go back to work again. And I have a life at work. Like, I love Helly. What the heck? So it really, I love this show because it opens up a lot of like moral questions about like capitalism in corporate America, but also just, you know, these parts of ourselves and what defines being like your own individual person, right? Because like these innies are all basically just like enslaved workers. They have no rights and they're not really treated like real people by someone like Mark Scout, his Audi. So
it's
that
so hard to follow for like a normal non-watcher. Like, I guess I'm a Severance Audi. Like, I don't even watch anymore.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Like, it's really hard for my brain to wrap my head around it all. But this is the end of season 2.
So, I mean, I guess to sum up, like, they go through the process. They do end up getting Gemma out. I don't know if she'll be genuinely saved because at the last minute, he doesn't go with her. He stays with Helly. But we did get a lot of answers. We found out like what the numbers are like in the macro data refinement and like really what they're doing.
Well, tell me what the numbers mean.
Oh, so basically Gemma is being severed multiple times in these little testing rooms and they're testing how well the severance works. And so each time she has a new innie and the numbers is like refining the 4 temperaments and they're basically creating a new person for her each time. So Mark is creating like who she becomes when she goes into these testing rooms. And the last testing room, Cold Harbor, was her dismantling her crib after she miscarried and wearing the same outfit that she wore when that happened in real life. Because they were testing to see if like the most traumatic experience of her life would come back to her in this room. And it didn't. So the chips work, people.
So the severance worked.
Yes.
And the numbers are just making her personality and like her brain
and I think
makeup.
The bigger question is like, what are they trying to do with that? And my guess is trying to create like a workforce of people that they fully have management of all of their temperaments, because that's what they're sorting the numbers into. It's the 4 temperaments that Keir believes in. But if you can create innies that have like the most ideal temperaments, then they just have like this whole workforce of people that are more easy to control. That's what I think maybe their end game is. But
I'm assuming they're coming back for season 3.
Yeah, they are. Hopefully not out? In like no, it's not coming. It's not out yet. A lot of people were mad because season 1 ended on a big cliffhanger, and then the show didn't come back for like 3 years because there was the strikes and all of the stuff.
Oh.
So it will be back much sooner than that, they said. But maybe
sooner
in like
than
a
3
year
years.
Sooner than 3 years. Maybe in like a year or 2. I mean, these shows I think take a really long time to shoot and whatever. So
yeah,
we'll see. But those are, I guess, my initial takeaways. I really thought it was a stunning piece of television. And also, what is going on with the goats? Did you ever get to the goats?
No.
When you were watching? Oh, we still don't know about the goats, but there was more about the goats. And I'm like, what is happening?
See,
they keep goats in Lumen. And I'm like, what are you guys... And they randomly will like show them and there'll be plot lines about like, yes, the goats. And no one knows what the goats are. And it's like literally they were going to sacrifice one. It was so sad. I was like, I can't watch this. But then luckily they didn't.
And they're not going to. Oh, okay, good. We got a submission and now on the heels of the Severance finale airing. What's your weekly TV itinerary? Any shows that are appointment television?
Yeah. We were living in an age of stunning television right now. White Lotus. That's
Is that
my
appointment
routine.
Television?
Yep. Sunday nights, 9 o'clock. And then Severance was that. So my routine was White Lotus, Bachelor, Severance, Thursdays. I'm booked, you know?
Booked and busy.
Yeah.
Why do people keep saying Nikki Blonsky for White Lotus season 4? Like they're
because they're psychotic. That would be insane. I don't want her on that show. Wait, what? People are saying that?
Oh, every single Nikki thing that comes up on my TikTok in the comment section, it'll say that specifically. And
Wait,
to the
that's
point
insane.
where I'm like, is White Lotus a reality show? Like, why are they? But then I forget
It
she is an
not.
actress. So technically,
Wait, what is happening to me? Why did I just get so white?
dude, the ghost. I can't.
All right. You guys all saw that, right? Like, we're not crazy.
Yeah. And now you're dark.
Now
Oh,
I'm dark.
Jesus.
Okay.
I am. I don't have any appointment television. I watch on demand, except for The Bachelor, which is like against my will, really. Because it's work, it's like less fun.
Yeah.
Like, I guess if I can watch Bachelor at my own leisure, it would be different, but having to watch it at a certain time makes it feel more like work.
Well, we literally have to take notes. Like, it is
Well,
work.
yeah, it is actual work. But I've been watching Love is Blind. And that's not appointment because the season's over. And it's actually great because I don't like no one's talking about it anymore. So I don't really have to dodge any articles really. It's not there anymore. But this season is really good. I feel like I was kind of turned off by the fact that everyone was saying there's so many pod episodes and there was couples that you get invested in that end up not even going the distance. So it was a lot of like wasted time. So hearing that turned me off. It ends up being fine. And there's some mess. Can I tell you about some mess of a couple that the final answers are out there. I'm just not there yet. So I don't know who ends up ending up together or what. But there's a couple that they get engaged across the wall and they meet, they're living together, and then the girl says, "When I saw his face, he looked familiar. I feel like he followed me on Instagram previously, like he knows me, and then maybe came on the show to follow me." And she's like, "My Instagram bio says everything you would need to know about me. It says like tacos, family, faith, love," or like whatever it says. I'm like, okay, first of all, I would hope that there's more to you than just like your Instagram bio. But basically she's like, did he come on the show to follow me and like seek me out? And then she has like an app that shows who unfollows and follows. And the producers give her her phone. They're like, if you want the answers, you can have your phone. So they give her her phone and she can't find him. But then she specifically describes a photo that she remembers seeing on his page. Because she's like, when this person followed me, she didn't know who he was. She just clicked on his page. She's like, I remember his page. She's like, do you have a photo of yourself sitting in front of a Christmas tree and you're holding a drink? And he's like, I mean, I'm not holding a drink. And like, it would be like something like that. And we never, as of where I am right now, we don't know if he did stalk her prior. And I'm just like, why aren't we like being like, okay, pull up his Instagram and go find the photo that you're talking about. So like, it's kind of mess like this. And like at the moment right now, they kind of talk through it. He's like, maybe I followed you. Maybe I didn't. I don't follow you now. And she's like, yeah, because you probably unfollowed me before you came to the show. And he's like, I don't know. I don't remember every single person I follow. So it's like a lot of like up in the air. Every time they're on screen, I'm like, are we going to get more to the story here and find out if he stalked her prior? I think it was worth powering through the pods to get to where we are now.
Okay. Noted.
I recommend. So but it's not appointment. So I don't really
have
have
if you guys have any other shows that we should watch, let a girl know.
Someone asked if we're going to watch that new show with Susan and Demi. It's called
No.
Get Out. Yeah, no, we need to watch at least the first episode. What's it called? We got to get out. Get the heck out of here. What's it called?
I don't know. I did see the preview for it, but I don't even remember what it's called.
Spencer's on it though. Like, come on, we got to watch it.
What's the premise?
They got to get out. It's like they're in a house and you got to get out and you like win money, but everyone else is trying to prevent you from getting out.
What do you mean? You have to like get out of the house?
Yeah, and there's like laser beams and stuff keeping you in the house and alarms will go off. So you have to figure out how to get out. Or like,
oh, that's kind of fun. Maybe I would watch this.
Oh, Got to Get Out is what it's called. I'm here for it.
I'm in the market for new shows, especially Severance done. White Lotus is going to be done in like 2 weeks. What's the next scripted thing though? Sometimes my brain needs a break from reality TV.
You don't think your brain needs a break after watching Severance? I literally feel like you're speaking a different language.
It's definitely more work in that sense when you have to pay attention while watching, but there's something about like it stimulating my mind and getting me to think that I enjoy. Maybe I should just read a book, honestly. I haven't read a book in a long time and
you should.
I should get back into that.
And not Audible. You mean read?
No, yes. Eyeballs to words. The real deal, baby. Going back to our roots. If you have any book recommendations, let me know. I don't really like fiction though. Like I like when I read a book to like learn a little something. So
I like
that's your task,
autobiographies.
listeners. Like give me
Or
something.
no, biographies, autobiographies about myself, which I would like to read, but I would have to write it. So I
Sure.
like biographies by
about
celebrities.
people.
The Situation, Brittany, Matthew Perry.
So The Situation wrote a biography and you
Yeah,
read it
dude.
and think it's a good
Oh
book?
yeah, no. Oh my gosh, I
Oh my
love.
God.
Well, I read
Those
it.
are so many things that shock me. All of those things.
Well, first of all, I'm like a massive Jersey Shore fan, and I followed his whole career. But his book was a lot about his like drug addiction and how a lot of behind the scenes from the show that he was actually doing drugs while the show was airing and hiding it, and things like when they went to Italy and filmed in Italy, he's like, I have this massive drug addiction and we're going to a foreign country. And all I'm thinking is like, I'm being paid all this money. I'm the star of this show. I'm going to have withdrawals on national television on the top #1 show on MTV unless I figure out a game plan. And it's like, okay, I'm invested. That's actually a really crazy story.
Did he figure out a game plan?
Yeah.
How did he do it?
He put,
I'm like
he
asking
lined,
for a friend. How did he do it? No, just kidding.
He has, he had sneakers that he took the soles out of and literally lined the soles
smart.
with pills. Take notes, everybody. And then put the soles back. And then he says in the book, like, if you see me in Italy and I'm wearing red sneakers, just know that's me trying to sneak pills into the club. And then in the earlier seasons of Jersey Shore, how they always had like a big thing of like protein tablets or like protein powder.
Like powder?
Yeah, but in like tablets. He said, I bought a huge jug of them, emptied all of the tablets out, put whatever, grinded up the pills, put them in the thing. And he's like, and then I was able to take it on set and no one questioned what I was doing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is
so.
crazy.
No, it wasn't just about like, what did you think it was about?
I have no idea what Mike the Situation would have to write about. He would have to do TSA pre-check for those pills though, because then he wouldn't have to take his shoes off through security. You know what I mean?
So well, do you think he
So
did
he probably did do TSA pre-check. Yeah, because then you can walk in with your shoes. That makes sense. That's the only way that would work. Just thinking through his plans.
I just watched a Netflix movie with Jason Bateman about TSA and like getting on an airplane. And
do you know what I heard? That most of that really is just like for show and no one's really like doing anything.
Oh, well, don't tell me that, Jackie. We're going
Right
on a
before
plane
we
in 2
go to-
months.
All right. Well, I think it's gonna be fine, Stephanie. Wait, well, what did the wait? It was Jason Bateman talking about TSA.
No, it was a
In this
movie. A movie. He was an actor.
Oh, I thought the movie was like about the scam of TSA.
He's like, hi, I'm Jason Bateman, and I'm here to tell you all about TSA. No, he's an actor in the movie, and he's trying to get something shady onto an airplane, and he basically like harasses this TSA agent. And he's like, if you move right now or say anything or draw any attention, he has like a bud in his ear. He's like, if you draw any attention to yourself, like I'm going to kill your girlfriend.
God.
Then so it was a crazy movie. I would recommend it, but it happens to be about TSA. But I'm already thinking about us going on an airplane together when we go in May. And I think, well, one, I'm going to obviously bring Xanax. And then two, we should have like a mimosa or something at the airport. Get loose.
We can do that. Sure.
I'm going to have to download like a lot of episodes of like a show that makes me not think about things.
Okay.
And just like be lazy. I'm not going to talk to you probably.
That's
the
fine.
whole
I don't
5
want to
hours.
talk.
It's
Well,
good.
are you going to have to sit next to me? You're going to sit in middle seat? Because I will not be sitting in a middle seat.
We didn't think this through. Oh, I
thought
can't
it
sit
through.
on the window.
Well, so you want aisle.
I want aisle.
But I
Why
also
don't we
want
do
aisle.
let's do
Yeah,
two
no,
aisles.
I just think you're, not to dismiss your fears, but I think they're silly.
Not to dismiss your fears, but that is your perception. And that
Well,
is your
The
truth.
plane is not. You can leave this in. I think like the plane's not going down.
Oh my God.
I would swear on my
Godspeed.
life the plane's
Yes,
not going
let's
down.
hope. Let's hope. My goodness gracious.
What was I was going to say one more thing about TSA. Oh, this is not going to give you comfort, but you know how you're not allowed to bring liquids on. Like,
Yes.
There was
Yeah,
a time
randomly.
I had a full water bottle in my bag
And they didn't catch it.
and they didn't even catch it. So I'm convinced they're not looking for things.
In the Jason Bateman movie, they show how when they put the thing through the belt, it'll like highlight it a color specifically if it's something that's alarming. And it could just be that like a water bottle
It's like,
is
no.
not alarming.
Well, but why is any liquid alarming? That's also, I'm like, who cares if I have a larger bottle of shampoo? Like, get a life.
I mean, what can you put in there that like is
I
harmful?
don't know. I think that is what it is. It's like you can mix something with a liquid to, I don't know, make an explosive or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm doing with my shampoo bottle. So.
Right. Well, when
and then
you
one
have to
time
throw out
I had to throw out a perfume and it was expensive and I was so
I know you just bought it.
Yeah.
You had just
Oh,
bought
so
it
I've
on
told
the
this
trip.
story already. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, dude, I'll stay.
Well,
An
that
expensive
wasn't an
bottle of
option.
perfume
versus I'd have to stay in the Bahamas for the rest of my life. I mean, not the worst thing in the world. but
until the perfume bottle's empty. I'm not leaving.
Right. Just for like the next 6 to 8 months while I use up all this perfume.
That is so disheartening. I would go, honestly, I'd miss my flight, go to FedEx, ship it to myself at home, and then take a later flight. That is so messed up. Especially when the TSA agent knows. Like, let me spray it. You know that this is perfume.
I know. It was the Bahamas though, so like the airport was like as big as my apartment. Like it wasn't a real place.
Right. Even more so why
I know, but that's why like they were not having it. They're just like, you're a joke. Like throw this out. I don't care.
I would spray it on them and be like, Your Honor, smell it. Do you think that this is like an explosive? Right.
Right. But it could become one on the plane. I'm gonna look into that. That's a good Wikipedia page to read up on why you can't bring liquids to the airport.
Okay. Well, is that it, Jackie? That's all the time we have for today. All the submissions we're going to get to today. But we'll see you next week. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Bye, bitches.